Well, hello there. It has been such a long time. I am so rusty when it comes to this live game, but I am so happy to be here. Happy Saturday. This is the first episode in our Saturday series entitled What It Really Takes to Grow in Cannabis. So, over the next couple of weeks, I'll be coming to you live with a few topics of, questions that I've had over the last few years building out this amazing organization. I won't be before you too long today because it is officially cookout day here in Baltimore City for me. So today I'll be before you about 30 minutes. We'll be here answering questions, talking a bit about what it looks like to build a business. I'll give you a little bit of insight and then I'll be out. Is that cool? Good. So, shout out to everyone who was watching live. Thank you so much for being here. I know on a Saturday at 12 o'clock, you could absolutely be somewhere. You could, seriously be there right now, but you actually happen to be here. So, I'm thankful for that. Thank you for folks who are watching via the replay. I also just realized I was looking at this camera, which is what I've been trying to get to fix instead of this one. So, we're not going to labor too long about the camera because that's what took us a little bit to get started. I'm going to go ahead and slide into today's topic and just let me know if you have any questions. We happen to be still using, if you're an OG member of EMC, we have been using StreamYard, which is a streaming platform. When I go live in public, I love to use StreamYard because I'm able to put comments on the screen. I'm able to then take clippings of the work that I get to do here and utilize it all over the web. And yeah, I feel like I'm rambling. Let me just let y'all know we warming up. Okay, we're gonna pull. That's me. All right, all right. Rusty, y'all. Okay, so today's topic is what it really takes to grow in cannabis. Now, as a person who has been a part of this lovely industry for, oh gosh, going on 8, 9 years, this person who's been a part of this industry for a long time, I've gotten a chance to see what it looks like from building a business of my own to helping folks get into the industry via workforce or small business. So I think I'm a good person to kind of help you lead this conversation. All right. So first things first, let's talk a little bit about me. Like I mentioned, if you are new here, welcome, welcome. I'm Keisha. I'm the CEO of Explore Maryland Cannabis. And for the last 7 or 8 years, I've been building this organization through my community and through the passion I have for the cannabis plant. So, Explore Maryland Cannabis, if you're not familiar, we are a community membership and outreach organization that connects cannabis and the community through access and education. And we do that through events, we do that through trainings such as this one, right? You happen to be here, you happen to be watching live. This is a part of how we connect to the industry. So, since 2018, I've been building community in that way. And it looks something like this. If you are here or familiar with the fact that we moved our medical to an adult use market, there was a press conference held in community at the Impact Hub where we get an opportunity, we being me, to do this work. Next to that, we celebrated legalization in Maryland by putting on a collaborative event, going just fast forwarding to 2024 and 2025. We've been able to do industry partnership events that blend social and industry, and also hosting our lovely Explore Maryland Cannabis Awards, which you'll hear more about today. One thing about Explore Maryland Cannabis, and we're getting back to that root, is we believe the ecosystem exists in 6 parts. That is patients, professionals, providers, government, industry, and businesses. Just want to say that again for the folks who didn't hear it in the back. We exist in 6 parts. That is patients, professionals, providers, industry, government, and business. Without all 6 of these parts working in tandem, whether or not it's in harmony, in tandem, We know that the ecosystem that we exist in can only get better and better. Input from patients influences what providers and industry also and how they move, right? Since 2018, we were a medical market in Maryland. So being able to expand on that vision by not necessarily just saying patients, but we're saying consumers as a whole is a true important notch in our back. So let's just get down to the nitty gritty. Like I said, I won't have you here long. All right. So the question of the day or the topic of the day is, here's what people don't tell you when you start working in or building in cannabis. Now, I know that can be a bit controversial. I'm going to keep myself here. I know that could be a bit controversial, but a lot of times the experience that you get in the cannabis space is you're one of one, right? No one is doing the work that you're doing. No one has the experience that you have had because you are one of one, right? But I will have to say that there are still rules and regulations to follow as things matriculate in a mature market. So let's just dive right into it. Here are 5 things that actually matter, whether you are entering into careers or you're entering into workforce. The first thing is you've got to have some clarity over the chaos. Knowing your why keeps you focused when things move fast or if they fail. Ask me how I know. Number 2 is that consistency beats big launches. Show up even when it's quiet. And just a little bit about that, I almost didn't show up at all, right? I almost thought that it was important for me to be able to coast on the laurels and the experience and the relationships that I've built in this ecosystem. But I also forgot that this ecosystem completely changed 2 years ago. We became one of one, right? A medical market that has thrived, that has strived, that is now open to the general public, not even just Marylanders, but people all over the country, as long as you're over the age of 21 and you have a legal ID. That's it. So not being able to rest on my laurels meant that I had to kind of sit back and figure out what works. So getting back to what works, getting back to being live, getting back to being in person, getting back to building community. And that's where we are for the second half of the year. But we'll talk more about that later. But we also talk a lot about it in our community. Speaking of community, the third thing is that community is currency. You don't need 1 million followers. You just need the right people. And on a note about that is the right people will help you realize whether or not you are shifting from your past, shifting from your path, or if you're actually aligned with what you're supposed to do. People who believe in your vision, people who believe in the organization and the work that you do will often tell you very loudly, shout out to my folks, that sometimes that pivot or that change that you made was in vain. Just stick to what works, right? So not only is community great as far as physical currency, but they're also good at helping you build that foundation that reinforces your why, right? And allows you to keep showing up. You get what I'm getting here? The fourth thing that people don't talk about and things that actually matter is that compliance is culture. I know. I know it sounds crazy, but whether in retail or entrepreneurship, rules shape your moves. Think about it like this. If you are a cannabis consumer, do you know the puff puff pass rule? Do you know the don't necessarily talk too long in a sesh rule? Or even bring something to share if you can, right? Those are rules, whether they're making sure when you enter a dispensary, you show up with your US ID, you show up with your cash because their ATM doesn't work, or you might not have enough to be able to swipe it at the actual POS. It makes sense, right? There are rules in place to help you move through, right? A lot of people think cannabis is very much a loosey goosey, do what you need to do environment, but there's still rules. Okay, don't vape in the bathroom. Shout out to my OGs from the medical market. Don't vape in the bathroom. One of these days we're going to put that on a shirt, because if you know, you know. But that was important, right? And it's still important. And I hope that as we build and grow into a mature market, people understand that rules kind of help, just to be honest. And then our last thing that actually matters is to start where you are and not where you think you should be. It is crazy at how often people are looking at other folks' journey. For instance, I know that when I got into the industry, I was looking at folks who were light years ahead of me and not necessarily understanding that maybe I still have a little bit more of my story to build. So if you are just getting started, if you have gotten into cultivation, shout out to our growers. I am a home grower here, and you know that harvest didn't really hit the way it should. It's okay. Start where you are. Remember the process that got you here again, and you'll have a little bit of clarity as you move through. Before I head to story time, I just want to shout out to the live folks here. Hey, what's going on, new grower? Come on, new grower. What are you growing right now? It is hot. I know a lot of folks have moved their plants inside, but let me know what you're growing. I actually got some lemon layer cake by Evermore that I got as a clone a couple of weeks ago, and it is thriving. It is thriving. It is thriving. So let's talk a bit about story time. The topic I'm going to pull out is starting where you are. One, because I am so proud of this dream, right? I started this organization because I was looking at my friends in dispensaries and everybody was looking so sad. And I remembered that if I just started where I was, there was something that I could really do to help them get to where they need to be. So the story time today is about the awards. And so just putting it on record, I am the first organization to host a cannabis specific award show in Maryland, right? Very early on, we became regulated. And 2 years later, I remember in the pits of the pandemic that I was sick of folks looking sad when we were, going to dispensaries. And so I started the awards, right? And just to keep on with time, let me show you what that trajectory looked like, right? In 2020, it looked very similar to where I am now, right? Virtually behind a screen, showing you a display, a presentation, talking about why I love the work I do and where I am in this industry. And so 3 years later, right, we are in the thick of legalization. We have an adult use market, and I was able to really pull in different people, different prominence, different types of community together in a way for 2 days, right? In a way to celebrate what we were doing in Maryland and also to celebrate those who were doing the work. And that's this fast forward to this past winter, which is 2024, not 2025. We're working on something special for 2025. 2024, we were able to partner with industry. We were able to pull out a lot of community, right? Looking at this picture here, there are only two folks that I actually recognized at the award show. We kept it small, we kept it intimate, and that is something that allows me to be super proud of the work that I do, right? It came from an idea, and I'll tell you this, I was consuming some med growers' green crack when the idea came to me. I said, wow, I really need to make sure that like the person who just checked me out understands that just because I can only at this point go to Walmart in the local dispensary, that they really impacted my day. And that wasn't even just for the pre-roll I got, right? It was the conversation, it was interaction. So starting where you are is important, folks. Do not devalue your start. I've got some time for a little Q&A. I'm going to check my messages to see if anyone has left me any. But one question I do and I love to answer is, if I had to start today, where would I get started? So I'll give y'all a few seconds for my folks who are here. Let me know if you have any questions. And if not, we will wrap up with my suggestion for where you should get started. All right. I'm just checking out the Instagrams. Man. All right, where do I take my sweet potato recipe? Okay, that is a very specific question. Shout out to the person who left it. But I'm gonna go ahead, go full screen, and answer the big question today is where do I get started? If I had to start today with $0, wanting to get into the cannabis industry, how should I start? Well, friend, thank you so much for coming over to the green side. We are happy to have you. If you are passionate about the plant, we would love for you to bring your transferable skills into a role that is very similar to what you do. Did you happen to do taxes in a previous life? Well, check out some of the regulations and compliance measures that we placed in Maryland and find a way to find your path. Or have you just graduated from an institution and you're looking to take some of that experience into the cannabis industry, but you don't quite know how? Well, there are entry level positions that you can start, being a bud tender, being a harvest tech, being a packager, being a delivery driver, right? Just to kind of get a taste and get your feet wet in the industry. Now, for my sweet potato pie recipe, folks, or someone who has a grand idea that you want to get on a shelf, what I want you to do right now, today, is if you already have your idea or your product in hand, I want you to get it in front of 5 other people before the end of the summer and get their true reaction to it. Another mistake that people do when they start in this industry is you have this grand idea and you don't get any input for it. So that leaves you with a gap of you're leading with what you imagine it could be. But imagine if someone told you, well, maybe not pizza for an award show, but I do like coffee, right? Because coffee and cannabis, da 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 da. Think of it from a different perspective, right? So, my advice to my folks who have a product, get it in front of 5 folks, right? Get the feedback that you need, right? Same thing for you, Ty. Shout out for you for coming in. You're trying to figure out branding. Get your branding, get your designs, get your prototype in front of folks who can tell you if they like it or not. And not people that you know, the people that you feel scared to actually talk to, that may be a friend of a friend, someone that you met at a festival, or someone that you work with that you're not quite, that you're not going to invite them to the cookout with you, but y'all have a good kiki at the water cooler, that second degree of friend is where you need to get that feedback. And so luckily, hosting an award show every year, I hear feedback from folks around, well, I really wanted a trophy, so I brought trophies back. I get it. What else did I do? I made sure that everyone who had gotten certificates for the years that I didn't do trophies got their trophies. And if you haven't gotten your trophy, friend, it's over here in my house, in the basement. Come and get it, right? I think that we sometimes hesitate on getting feedback. And so that is important, right? Especially for folks who want to be in community with the folks. You got to get it into the hands of people who can talk about it. And then they're going to go to their local dispensary. They're going to DM their local grower. They're going to talk to their local processor and say, you need to have this product on the shelf because I can't live without it, or I had it at a party, right? That's my advice to y'all. So if there are any questions, we got some time. We got some time before I have to go and get ready for cookout day. If anybody happens to be cooking out today, let me know. I am here. Yes, branding is important. My background is in communication, so I completely understand that. Also, I didn't have a slide for this, but if you want to learn more, if you want to have more, we've got a special guest of someone who is coming to talk about how they got started in the industry. Feel free to join our membership. So membership is free, period. But there is a paid tier, and that paid tier gets you access to our events. We've got summer school coming up. We got some field trips coming up. We got some fall things coming up. I'm so excited. I was very sad that I was in hermit mode for a big part of the year, but I'm happy to be back outside, as kids say. Also, if you are looking to find networking community, today is July 5th, but hopefully between now and next Sunday, July 13th, the award-winning Maryland CBD Cook-Off is happening here in Maryland. That is hosted by the MJ Connect. Terrell, don't fight me. It just completely blinked out. Let me see if I can find the picture of the cookout. Not the cookout. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The CBD cook-off. Definitely a time. Well, let me know if you all have anything else. If not, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. Once again, what we're going to do is do this. Next week, I will make sure that I have all of my images. I'm a little rusty. If you check out the channel, you see when the last time I've been live publicly outside of the membership. So we're just working to get the things going. But we do have, like I mentioned, summer school coming up. If you are looking to experience the ecosystem, whether you want to be employable, you want to get a little bit more information, check out our Passport to Maryland Cannabis Careers, formerly known as summer school, but we've got 4 weeks of epic experiences coming for our applicants and for the public. So if you don't think you'd be able to do all 4 weeks, but you're interested in, maybe checking out the private farm tour or checking out one of the panels that we're having, be sure to register. Everything's up on Eventbrite. Everything is up to date. We would love to have you. Let me see if there is anything else I have to announce, because I just be out here. Next week, we are going to be talking about from application to hire. And I'm going to pull that slide up, or pull up the schedule. Here we go. Bop. Work with me, that rust. Here we go. This is what we've got for the next 4 weeks. So today we talked about what it really takes to thrive in cannabis. Next week, we have from application to hire. We're talking specifically for folks who are looking to get into the industry, what they need to know, what they need to have. And of course, you can check out summer school as well. On the 20th, we've got brand building without big money. And I'm loving that we get to talk about how to build your brand without asking every sponsor that you have for all of this exorbitant amount of money that the marketing team still needs to use. So we'll be talking about that July 20th. And on July 27th, which will wrap up this series, is what to do when you're stuck. You are not getting the callbacks. You're not getting the hires. You're working on clients. What do you need to do? So thank you all so much for coming and checking out this series. Once again, thank you for bearing with me as I shook off some of the dust. Next week, I'll have everything on a bit more of a flow. But until then, I hope you all have an amazing week. And if I get to see you out and about, say hello. I'd love to say hello. I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.